This was me on the 1st of January. And this was me yesterday. I was so locked in, but I fell off, despite wanting 2025 to be that year. Here's the thing, if you want to win the game of music, you have to know how to lock in. But locking in isn't actually the hard part. The real challenge is staying locked in and locking back in after you've fallen off. You have to maintain your balance and consistency so that you can keep working hard and grinding on your projects whilst avoiding the burnout. We're going to talk about that in the second half of the video, but let's get started by actually just talking about what locking in even means, because so many people talk about locking in. I'm gonna lock in. What does that actually even mean? So the way that I like to think about locking in is it's kind of like you're going into the fast lane, right? And you're gonna get those serious results that you're looking for in your practice or in your projects much quicker, right? You're going to reach your destination in like half the amount of time if you're actually able to lock in and get the work done. So after about 4 years of trying to figure out actually how to become a hyper-focused and productive musician, I've come up with the lock-in blueprint, and I'm going to share it with you in this video. Let's just jump straight into this blueprint. To lock in effectively, you're going to need 4 key ingredients. The first ingredient is clarity. If you don't actually know what to lock in on, the best suggestion I have for you is to figure out your next strategic move. This means the next move that you need to make within the next like 3 to 6 months that's actually going to lead to the breakthrough that you're looking for in your wider plan and your wider strategy and your wider vision as a musician. I'll use myself as an example. So my next strategic move is to blow this channel up because I know how powerful a YouTube channel is in the creator economy. I've already got an online course and an online community called Unlock the Keyboard, which is free, by the way. You can check it out below if you want to learn the keyboard. But now the main strategic move for me is blowing up this channel, reaching more people who will actually benefit from the things that I have to offer. But blowing up this channel is way too vague. We need to be more specific than that, right? So I've boiled it down to 2 key tasks. The first key task is learning how to make banger, hyper valuable videos. And then the second key task is actually making those banger, hyper valuable videos. Okay, the second key ingredient that you're going to need is an optimized lifestyle. You want to come into this feeling energized, feeling inspired and excited to actually get the work done, and you want to have your mind with a certain degree of mental clarity so that you can actually get into the flow state and get your best work done, right? Now, this is going to require nailing the basics of lifestyle. The first basic is, of course, sleep. You need to be getting enough sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're going to be tired and you're not going to be operating at your best. The second lifestyle basic is diet. What are you consuming? What are you putting inside of your body? And this isn't just food, by the way. This is all things. This is content. What content are you consuming? What music are you putting into your ears? What are you putting into your eyes? And the third lifestyle basic is mental and physical health. Working out, going for a run, practicing qigong, practicing, yoga, whatever you do to kind of rebalance your mind and body and spirit and kind of stay aligned and stay in this really, positive energy. If you're coming into your work feeling positive and feeling grateful and feeling energized, you're going to get so much work done and it's going to be your best work. So if you nail these 3 lifestyle basics, you're going to find yourself in the most optimized state. This is how the human body and the human mind was designed to operate, because in today's modern world, there's so much random chaotic stuff that we created that kind of distracts us and robs us of our true essence, right? And so this is actually returning back to like our true essence. This is what I believe. The third ingredient you need is an optimized space. Now, I made a whole video about how I designed this creative sanctuary, and in that video I talked about 3 different scales. I talked about the mundane to magical scale, which is taking your space from this kind of mundane, boring, uninspiring place to this magical place where you can get your best work done. I talked about the chaotic to harmonious scale, where a space could be really chaotic and actually hard to operate in, but you want to take it to harmonious, where it's like really easy and natural to do the work that you want to do, and it's just like flowing and it's easy. It's feng shui, right? The energy is just flowing. And then there is the third scale, which I can't quite remember, but it's about being optimized, right? It's like an optimized space, and you can actually engineer your environment. You can engineer your space to be hyper optimized for exactly what you're trying to achieve, and that's going to help you to really lock in and stay locked in. And the fourth ingredient is what I like to call the build-in. You can't expect to snap your fingers and just get into that hyper optimized, productive lock-in state. It's almost like a dial that you have to gradually turn up over the period of a month or a week or a couple of days. This is why so many people fail at New Year's resolutions, because as soon as the new year comes, they try to snap into this like hyper optimized state, and they fail because you actually have to build into that. Of course, that's the mistake that I made this year. I tried to do that and I didn't have a build-in process and I burned out and failed. So with these 4 ingredients in place, you're going to have the highest likelihood of success. Now, what is locking in? Like, what is the state of being locked in? I would define it as focusing on the needle moving activities that are actually going to get you results and achieving a kind of deep work flow state. It's so easy to sit there and do tasks that aren't actually pushing the needle, right? And convince yourself that you're being productive. I do this all the time. When I sit at my desk, I have this problem of checking my YouTube analytics and replying to the few comments that I do get on my videos. And it's like, I convince myself like, oh yeah, this is productive, good work, but it's not. That's shallow work. Deep work for me in the YouTube context is actually sitting there and using my brain to think of a really effective hook. It's trying to come up with really compelling points that I can speak about in these videos. And if I'm able to actually get into that deep work state as soon as I sit at my desk, that's how you lock in. And also, you need to remain undistracted. This is a really important thing. Don't pick up your phone and don't click off the task. The key here is to put your phone away, or if you're going to have your phone next to you, have it face down so that you're not getting notifications on the screen, and turn the sound off. That's really important, because honestly, one small ding from your phone, your brain is already wired to like have your hand reach and grab your phone when you hear a little notification sound, right? That's dopamine farming. Avoid the phone at all costs. That's going to rob you of that focused state. So that is the blueprint for how to lock in effectively. I really hope that it's helpful to you. Now let's talk about how to maintain the state of lock-in, because this is the real challenge right here. Well, firstly, we need to establish here that I'm actually referring to more of a macro lock-in, right? A lock-in period of your life, right? Because there's the micro lock-in, which we've kind of already discussed. Macro lock-in would be like staying locked in over a period of time. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I can't give you a blueprint for this because I haven't actually mastered this myself, but I can share with you 2 lessons that I've learned in trying to figure this out. The first lesson is that you need to maintain a measure of balance in your life. I don't think balance is turning the dial to 50%. You can still have the dial at 100% and cook on the pan. Balance is like the oil that's going to make your food cook faster, and it's not going to stick to the pan, and it's not going to be messy, right? So the way that I think about balance is the lifestyle basics that we've already talked about. If you have those lifestyle basics, you're gonna be in this optimized state of being and state of mind so that you can actually focus on your best work. Also, another part of balance for me is having kind of activities or hobbies that I do that inspire me. For example, one of my favorite things to do is rock climbing. I love going to the bouldering gym in town, right? It's very colorful in there, and it's kind of a physical activity. You're using your body, you're using your mind to figure out these different bouldering problems, and it just keeps me in this inspired and encouraged state of being. And that's like oil. Now, I describe it as oil because I'm an artist. I'm in the creative field, and you probably are too. And so we need that inspiration. We need that input, right? Otherwise, our output is going to be so stale and dry. And the second lesson that I've learned is that you need a sense of progression. This is huge. If you're not feeling like you're making any progress with what you're actually spending your time locked in doing, then it's so easy to be discouraged, to think this is not working, this is hopeless, I suck at this, and just quit. Now, I'm telling you this from personal experience. I've been grinding so hard on this YouTube channel, putting in literally like 8 hours a day, and I haven't got anything out of this channel. I mean, I've been working on this channel for like 3 years at this point, and I still haven't got anything out of it. No money, no monetization. When you're putting your heart and soul and your time and energy, blood, sweat, and tears into something, and you're not getting anything out of it, yeah, that can be brutally frustrating, and it can really test you mentally. But of course, if you have the conviction that what you're doing is actually going to lead to something very solid and serious, then of course you're going to stay in there, so you do need the conviction. But if you want a sense of progression and you can't derive that externally, you can derive it internally from the work that you're actually putting in. I use an app called the Forest app where you plant a tree with the work that you're putting in. So you can set a 2-hour timer and you can plant like 4 trees in your forest. And so when the external thing isn't giving you anything back, at least what you're putting in makes you feel really accomplished, and that can be enough to motivate you to keep going. Now, you could have everything we've talked about in this video so dialed in, and you could still fall off. So what we need is an effective strategy for actually re-locking back in after you've fallen off. I was so locked in, I fell off, and then I'm sitting there thinking like, I actually want to get serious progress on my YouTube done this year, and now I'm not doing anything. What happened? And so it's like, how do you get back into that state of lock-in? That's what I've been exploring in this week, and I've come up with a strategy that I want to share with you, because currently this is day 2 of what I'm calling take 2, right? I'm locked back in and it's worked, and so let's talk about it. The first step in this strategy is to just chill out. Just relax. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Step 2 in this strategy is to do an assessment of exactly what went wrong. What happened? Why did you fall off? In my case, I actually became addicted to working. I set 2-hour time blocks, but when the 2-hour timer sprung, I actually couldn't turn my work off. I stayed working for another 30 minutes to an hour, and then that threw me off my whole schedule. This week has been a chance for me to actually see that and be like, okay, I need to get better at drawing the hard line from when my work ends. I need to actually walk away from my computer, otherwise I'm gonna just stay working. The third step is to come up with a more effective strategy. You can actually leverage this fall off as an opportunity to look at your wider strategy and see if there are things you're spending your time on that aren't those needle moving activities that will actually lead to the breakthrough you're looking for. And then the fourth step in this strategy is to hype yourself up with the build-in. You need to get stoked and excited about locking back in, and don't think about the drudgery. Don't think about the things that are hard, like, damn, I have to get up early in the morning, that's hard. I have to sit there and do this tough work. No, don't think about that. Think about the positives. Think like, oh, I can't wait to get the work done. I can't wait to make so much progress on my instrument, on my YouTube channel, on this, that, and the other. I'm so stoked. I can't wait. And the way that I do this is through journaling. I sit there and I literally journal exactly what I've just said. Like, I cannot wait to lock into this hyper optimized routine and get so much done and make so much progress. Okay, that's everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that it was helpful. Good luck, have fun, vibe and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!